Good afternoon, everyone. We are ready to roll for the last session of our youth development program series. The workshop started about 6-7 weeks ago, and today we're concluding it. We've covered on this workshop building the foundation for personal success, time, character, and the journey of excellence. We've gone through navigating relationships and building networks. We've also dealt with planning and building a life of independence and fulfillment. Last week, we deal with issue of governance and how you can give back to the society. And today, we're talking about financial and professional development. We have in the house two of our distinguished guests, who my colleague is going to introduce shortly, Josephine. So I want you to please get ready your writing materials as we go through this session. Josephine, over to you.
Thank you very much. Welcome everybody to the last session of this youth development series. This afternoon we have with us Samuel Edeh, who is the American Center Lagos Director. Is going to be speaking to us at the first session today. He's going to tell us more about himself. We also have one of our alumni, Adeyinka Akinyede-Ashaolu, who will be taking the second session. She's a lead coach and a consultant. Adeyinka is a development specialist. She's a business consultant, SME specialist, certified financial education instructor, youth development and women empowerment expert. She has a wealth of experience in financial literacy and coaching and policy advocacy. Adeyinka has about 20 years of robust professional and personal coaching experience, spanning development finance, financial services industry, access to finance, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, inclusion. Adeyinka is a business consultant, passionate about financial literacy, youth and women empowerment. She likes to impart development, entrepreneurship, and contributes articles in these areas. She volunteers on socially impactful and sustainable development initiatives, such as business mentorship on platforms like African Diaspora Network, ADN, and the Cherry Blair Foundation for Women's Mentoring Women in Business programs. She is an alumni of the US Government Exchange Program, IVLP. Join me to welcome the two facilitators for a great session this afternoon with a clap.
Right. So this morning, I think this afternoon, oh, so sorry. I thought you were all hearing me. Okay, so we're going to have Adeyinka first to lead in the discussion with the title Growing Financial Independence, while we have Samuel speak on thriving in the modern world, the role of technology in personal growth. Would you like to share? Do you have a PowerPoint or you want to just speak to the topic?
I could share my slides on.
Okay.
Yes.
You have it. All right. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm going to try to share my screen now. Good afternoon, everyone. From Sokoto to Port Harcourt, from Enugu to Elsa. Good afternoon. Okay, now share my screen. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Please, could you confirm if you can see my screen? I want to be sure before I
Not
move
yet.
on to, not yet?
No.
Oh. Okay. I am sharing this screen. I'll go back to that again. Sorry about this, and I am trying to do that. Okay. Oh.
So multiple participants can share simultaneously as well. So
Yes, so I have hit that. Can you see my screen now?
not yet.
Oh, wow. Okay, I've shared simultaneously. I'm trying to.
Probably
Okay.
you can just go right ahead.
Okay, so what I'll do now is that let me use a minute to, yeah, we should be fine with this. I'm wondering why it's not here. Yes. So maybe to pick as we go, but let me share my slides with Josephine very quickly. Maybe at least there will be, okay, you won't be able to. Apologies for this. Okay. Apologies for this. Apologies for this. I'm doing that immediately.
You can share it to my WhatsApp.
Okay. I'll do that right away. Good afternoon, everyone. Across Nigeria, and it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to join everyone this afternoon. Thank you again to the leadership of the American Spaces on the auspices of the U.S. Consulate for having me speak this afternoon. I want to acknowledge Dr. Itayo, Mrs. Josephine, and Mr. Edeh, and every member of the team who I hope I do not forget this afternoon for having me. Thank you so very much. While I'm sending my slides, I'm not sure if the coordinators at the centers could please help us find out if, I mean, demographics, you can just, wherever it is that you are, ask people to say, who are those between the ages of 18 to 25? Just to have an idea of what the audience looks like today. And I'm sure that Josephine would help us to be able to put it together. Also to know how many people are employed, unemployed, or who are students, just so that we can put it in a bit of a proper perspective on exactly how to go about this. So the slide is coming to you right now. So we're waiting that, I mean, just to have an idea of what the audience looks like from across everywhere that we are. Thank you so very much. Okay, so we are starting. All right, please do check your WhatsApp, and I'm sending I've just sent the presentation to you, just so that there's some visual and we can work with it. Still showing that I've shared simultaneously, so I'm wondering what the technology is trying to be. Yeah. Thank you very much. So please I'm audible. Okay, thank you very much. Got it. Thank you. Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Adeyinka, like I have been graciously introduced, and it's my privilege, or it's a good opportunity to be here this afternoon. And I trust that you are doing well. So let's go very quickly. We have very limited time. I think I probably have like 30 minutes to run through this. How we're going to do justice to it, I don't know. But I think it's a good opportunity for me to reiterate the fact that of the importance of the topics that have been covered in the last weeks. No part of it, I've gone through what the topics entail. And honestly, I think it's a good time to bring finance into this because it just more or less and professional development seals everything together. So the arrangement of the program has been very well put together. So this is very good. I've been asked to speak on my topic in accordance with financial independence, I call finances from dependence to independence. And I would like to say that dependence, first of all, we already know, independence is freedom, self-rule, to be able to have yourself. If we're in the place, I'm sure there are many ideas about independence, just talking about every year, October 1, we always celebrate independence. So it means that being financially able to control everything that has to do with you. So that's just in one word to put that together. And when we want to talk about finances, we'll talk about many other things. And before we talk about financial management or financial independence, as we will see in the slides, just I think 2 down, I usually like to speak about income generation. Because when you talk about financial management, you cannot possibly manage what you have not earned, what you have not made. So first of all, there has to be some earning to be done. And I like the fact that, you know, in some part of the focus, one part of this topic also looks at practical ways in which we can earn money. So, and a way to be able to actively, let me put that again, if you have not actively earned money, there is no way to be able to put them into investment or manage them in that way to be able to earn passive income. So active income is what you have to show up every day to. So you have a business or you have a job, and then you have to wake up there. Your input is actively required for you to do it. That's active employment or active business, then it generates active income. So very quickly, I'd like to introduce. I like this particular statement, so it almost precedes what I have to say. And it says that in life, you do not get what you deserve. You get what you desire and what you pursue with determination. I mean, simply put, nobody owes you. Life does not owe you. Nobody owes you. But whatever it is that you get is an output of what you desire and what you pursue with determination. So financial planning, like I put it, I say it's the clarity about what you intend to pursue. So the consciousness of what you want to pursue will shape 1, your mindset, 2, your actions, 3, your values, 4, your circle. 1, the clarity about what it is that you want to pursue, that you're not going to be waiting on life or giving it a chance, perhaps, if this happens. Life itself, it's a conscious decision, and whatever you get out of it has to be desirable by you, and it has to be pursued with determination. And the consciousness of that, your clarity to pursue something will shape yourself. And by mindset, I mean how you think, what you think about yourself. Can I really make money? Is money making for me? Can I make wealth? Or can I build wealth? Yes, because being rich is different from being wealthy. Rich is you momentarily have something that supplies cash. But wealth has a lot to do with your knowledge, with your network, with your intellect. It has to do with your skills. It has to do with money, and it has to do with the people that provide some form of support in different areas of your life. Yes. And wealth also has to do with sustainability, succession plan, if you put it that way. So financial planning, or what you call personal finance, and that's why it's called personal, because it is private to you. Adeyinka's money matters has absolutely nothing to do with her. Twin sisters' money matters. If you're a triplet, it has absolutely nothing to do with any of your other siblings, and it has nothing by direction to do with your spouse or your children. It is personal to you, and you have to take ownership for that. So quickly, we'll move on to the next slide that says, I have this. I said that without a clear strategy about appropriating your financial surplus, you will be financially stranded. Surplus is that at some point in your life, you are earning. I mean, we have on this call, I've not got the data of what it looks like, but I'm sure that we have a wide variety and of people on this call, on this webinar today. And that simply says that some people are starting out their lives. Some people are currently stabilizing that life. Some people at a point where they have a surplus. No, it's just a surplus of what they have. Some people at a point where it's sustainable for them. But whatever it is that at some point in the life of a person, there's a time where you have a surplus. It means you have more than what you need. Your need is what you need to survive. Your want is what you need . About how you manage in order to ensure that you're not financially stranded. So I'll repeat that statement again. Without a clear strategy about appropriating your financial surplus, you will be financially stranded. I also like to have no plan for whatever resources come your way, and it means that you can't even say where. I have a client who said sometimes one of the feedback I got was, Adeyinka, thank you. I don't have to wonder where my money goes. Where there is no plan, that's patterns that people say money has wings. No. When a person says money has wings, it simply means that there hasn't been a plan as to how to be able to manage that money. And that's where you're wondering. There are people who earn in millions, who at the end of the month are wondering, so what happened to the money? Truthfully, if they put pen to paper and they calculate, that money did not go anywhere. It was just not channeled in the right way in order to be able to achieve the goals that they wanted. So many times when you're talking about financial planning, attaining financial independence, there has to be a plan. But before that, there have to be goals. So you must have goals for yourself as a person. Plan for. So wealth, I'd say again, wealth answers to financial wisdom. And wisdom in this place, people describe it as the quality, I've summarized it, of your experience, your knowledge, and your judgment. The quality of your experience, your knowledge, and your judgment. And your experience means that the things that you come across, bear in mind, this could be experience of the things that you went through firsthand by yourself. And an important part about experiences is the experiences of other people. I mean, there is no time in this life for anybody to make all the mistakes or have all the experiences. So it is important that you're also learning from other people's mistakes and also taking lessons from other people's high points. So the quality of your experience, your knowledge, and your judgment is what is called wisdom. So wealth or financial independence, financial sustainability, financial needs, answers to financial wisdom. So I say, like I mentioned before, if you haven't generated money, it's impossible for you to be able to manage it. We'll go from income generation. So income governance, that's funds management. Income distribution, what you are sending your money to do, what it answers to you. So for example, one of the things that should go into anybody's budget is what caters for your needs, your rent, your housing, / your housing needs, your food, all the things that you need to survive. I mean, clothes, even in the most basic way. So that's income distribution. Then income allocation talks about your needs and your want. You must be able to separate, like I mentioned before, between your needs and the wants. Otherwise, what we call a surplus will not be viewed as a surplus, because I mean, when you don't see it as a surplus at that point, it then becomes, it's part of the things that need to be spent. And as we go down the slides, we will talk about something that is included in every income that we have. So income deployment is the investment part. What errand you are sending your money in order to be able to multiply themselves, in order to be able to replicate itself for you. That is the diploma modeling, is the financial literacy part, one of the things that we're doing today. I mean, you're learning about money, you're learning about how to generate it, how to manage it. And that is the modeling part. And this part is a continuous part, the most important continuous part, as important as how you breathe and how you eat. Because as long as you are here and you are earning, we're always hopeful that everybody is going to be, I mean, the average life expectancy dropped in Africa, and I think it's about 60-something%. But look around you, you find a lot of people who are living into their 70s, their 80s, their 90s. And so if you don't have a plan as to what you're going to do at that point, what's going to happen? Are you going to live free on air? Are you going to live on the government? Are you going to live on your family, or whatever the case may be? Then the last part of that is the income transfer. And that speaks to succession planning and what we call generational asset management or generational asset transfer. Now, those in that line, you see, it starts from generation, and then it goes into the income transfer, or what we call succession planning or leaving a legacy. And that's I like to put this economic outlook, and I put this there on purpose because this session of financial literacy always and beautifully has included something about skills, about practical ways in order to earn money. So, and a quick look at an economic outlook is very important. I mean, as at last month, we were looking at inflation and what it was looking at 365 days before that time. And even though the National Bureau of Statistics has been able to put some base point into inflation, you and I go to the market, supermarket, open market, general market every single day. And you see that the difference in those prices for a layman, for an everyday person, there is really not much difference in what it is. So what that means is that you have to pay attention to your personal finance in order to attain financial independence. That's the one that you have control over. You don't control global financial landscape. I mean, you don't control what decision the US president makes. You don't control how China responds to it. You don't control what is happening in the EU as a whole. However, what happens to you could be good based on the actions that you take on your own circle of influence. So that is out of your control. So it is not your circle of influence. However, even the national decisions that are being made is out of your control. But there is a part that could positively impact your own personal finance, livelihood, if you're paying attention to them. I hear people saying, oh, there are no funds. And I'm saying there are funds everywhere. Everybody's the opportunities you're looking for answer to value. I mean, as we go, we'll run down some of the things that I'll be talking about. We'll meet them and would have addressed them. So one question, if I ask anybody, please, can the coordinators, I mean, I want to see if there will be anybody whose hand will be up. If you have seen the today's May the 6th. if you've seen the 2025 budget of Nigeria, you've seen it, or you will be fascinated by any part of it, I'd really like to know if anybody raises up their hands. This is not to gaslight anybody, but this is to tell us that we want things to improve, but we are not paying attention to some of the things we need to improve on. I'll give an example. We're going to talk about some specific ways in which we can earn, practical skills that we need to look at, or sectors, skills or sectors that we need to look at to be able to earn money. But one of the first places to look at it is the budget of the country in which you earn, or the budget of the country in which you invest in, or the budget of the country in which you have significant business activity here, or you earn here, and you haven't looked at. The basic is to say, what's the government doing with the money that you have paid a tax, or what sectors are contributing to ensuring that Nigeria keeps running. Now, by that, what sectors are contributing to the GDP? I'm going to run very quickly because we'll run out this and then we'll go back. This is like a summary of many of the things that we're going to watch out. So that's a take home. Today, once you get home, look at the budget of Nigeria and at the things that you need to look at in that budget. The first one is, what are the sectors that are contributing to the GDP? Pay attention to the percentage of these sectors that are contributing to the GDP, because those sectors are part of the sectors that you need to be paying attention to in order to be able to earn income. We need to move to the next slide. We spoke earlier about the consciousness of what your purpose will shape 4 things. If I was there physically, I would have asked this question again very quickly. Maybe somebody will win a mutual fund. Mindset, it shapes your actions, it determines your values, and it dictates your circle. So very quickly, let's talk about mindset. Your mindset, this is like the basic place of where everything happens. The mindset matters. That's what this slide says. This is where you perceive, this is where it is formed, this is where your ideas come up from, and this eventually is what shapes your reality. So if you cannot think it in your mind, if you cannot perceive it right there, it cannot become a physical thing that you can own. I'm a Christian, and my Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And Robert Kiyosaki says that you cannot become rich in your pocket unless you have become, first of all, rich in your mind. It all starts with the mind. I mean, there are people who say there's one statement down, and I think it's still a bit like 2 slides away. And it talks about the perceptions of people, how we think that culture, our nurture, culture, nurture, nature, and the things around us, our environment, fuels how we become. And all of those things, either the reality of what we become is centered or happens in our mindset. So, are you going to be rich? It all starts with your mind. Some people believe that, oh, in a certain lineage, some people don't make money beyond a certain part. Oh, some people say, oh, in their own lineage, when they get to a point, the money just stops there and it's not transferable. So watch what you think, because out of mindset and the reality that we get from the mindset is closely associated with what we profess, what we say, after what we think. So what you think first, what you believe first, what you say, and all of them have a direct relation with what you do, your actions. And that action or inaction determines what you then become. Okay, so we move. I've spoken about this, your mindset, your affirmations, leaves what you then speak out, what you act, and what you do not act, then brings us back to what we have seen. I've spoken about this slides about what Robert Kiyosaki says about your money mindset. So I mentioned earlier, the foundations of your habits determines starts from what you think, what you see. A quote that says that do not allow your culture, your nature, your nurture, your stereotypes or the stereotypes. Now, I'll say that again. Do not allow your culture, your nurture, your nature, the stereotypes affect the future that you want to feature in. I'll quickly break it down. Your culture is how things have always been. Some people say, this is how we do things here. And so in some places they say, oh, women cannot earn more than this. Or a woman cannot make it in tech. Or a man cannot earn it coming from a certain part of the country or age or whatever, cannot earn beyond this. Or men do not progress better in a certain whatever. Some people have that culture. And taking on that belief. So that's when we say, do not allow your culture, your nurture, your nature, the stereotypes to be able to affect, and then your maturity. So your culture is how things have always been. They say this is how we do things, and you stick to it. If you're going to be anything of independence or value to yourself, you cannot stick to cultures that draw you back, number one. So number two, your nurture is, and this is modeled by how your parents raised you or how the environment in which you grew up in. That's about your nurture. Or that you saw and that built up into become what you believed in about yourself. Growing. Number three is the stereotypes. We've spoken about that. Some people place gender or income levels restrictions on other people. Or this is how they should behave. Or this is how you should behave. This is how a girl should behave. This is how a boy should behave. This is how people from a certain place should act. These are things that hold people back from becoming or attaining financial independence or being able to take advantage of all the opportunities that come to them. Maturity. As a result of culture, nurture, nature, stereotypes, we have become something. And now many times you hear this thing about unlearning and relearning. That's when you observe who you have become, who you have matured into. There is still an opportunity every time that you have the opportunity to breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, to change, adjust, become the best part of who the world has become. So next slide, please. So as spoken about this, I like this quote also by Robert Kiyosaki. It says, it is not how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for. Remember, we spoke about from income generation to income transfer, which we call maybe succession planning or wealth transfer. So this encapsulates everything that we're talking about. It's not about how much money, meaning some people earn millions per month, high millions. Some people earn very low hundreds. In fact, some people don't even earn into hundreds. In fact, some people are in school and all of their needs are still met by other people. They don't have that dependence. But they have built a habit. A habit dependence is about building habits that help you to be able to stand on your own, that help you to be able to manage what you have, that help you to be able to have a reservation or a reservoir from what it is that you earn. And ultimately, that helps you to be able to set up assets that can earn for you in the days maybe when you're no longer active. Remember, we spoke about active income and passive income. So in the days when you are active, this is supposed to be a youth forum, and you are making active income. The onus is on you to ensure that you are absolutely putting something aside to build assets, financial assets that will be able to generate passive income for you in the days ahead where you are not able to be actively involved. Even right now when you're young, those things that you set about gradually would be able to help and liberate you in those days. So first of all, let's put something. There's another quote from Joan Boyd. He says, many people take no care of their money until they come nearly to the end of it. Remember, we spoke about this. Some people wonder where their money went to. It's not until they nearly. A lot of people come to the end of their money and they don't know what the money is because there is no plan and no goals in order to attach those plans to. Next slide says risk versus reward. For financial independence, there are two words or two practices that are Siamese twins. They are absolutely Siamese twins, and that is risk and reward. Risk and reward. Wherever there are risks, there are rewards. And so in investment or in attaining financial independence, the higher the risk you want to take, the greater the reward. But please let me put a caveat. It's not like, what do you call it now? It's not like a Ponzi scheme. The kind of risk we're talking about here are calculated risk. And when I talk or I do my financial consultation, financial assets that you can put your money into, right? Once you have an investment that does not directly show you proof of what the money is being deployed into, then it becomes a loose risk, an uncaught risk. And that means even for the ones that are regulated, you have some, for example, that you can lose your money and then maybe make them back. The stock market is one. It makes a lot of money. It's a very good investment opportunity. However, it also has, it does not preserve your capital. That means you can lose money for a period. And then if you're investing in the stock market for a long term, it simply also means that you can be able to recover and bounce back. So we advise people, when you want to invest for the stock market, unless you want to sit by your investment portfolio every single day and analyze it, which is not out of place, you should be investing in the stock market for at least the medium term or the long term. So to the next slide, we have spoken about this earlier. And so I'll say this. Many people say that for you to be financially independent or to be able to invest or to be able to understand or get a grip of your personal finance, you need a PhD or you need a master's degree in statistics, in accounting, in whatever. And that is absolutely not true. All you need is a willingness to be able to learn the basic understanding and gradually build on it. So I would say to achieve financial independence, you are absolutely the architect of your own life. Now, we have put a, what's the name of this canvas that architects they draw on?
Let's
it's
begin
a
to
blank canvas. Okay, it's a blank canvas, and what you draw on it is absolutely dependent on you. Now, we are half of the slides, and so we need to run. So we've spoken about budgets and why, at least in this, considering the rate of the inflation, your investment, at least if you're earning, at least for starters, 30% of your earnings should be going into an investment. Somebody says, how do we survive? Because the inflation is not anywhere and you have to be able to plan. Those are the assets that are going to be able to help you to urge against inflation. And so those attention should be paid on the percentage of that. Seed part, so that you don't eat the skin, the fruit, and the seed, so that you do not eat the fruit. The seed is what you put aside that will continue to generate for you. Investment, so we have put the seed. The seed is what we put in an investment. So investment diversification now. So you have this beautiful picture, and it talks about different places where you can put your investments. I think somebody's mic is on, please. So where we can put the investment, and these are, you can put them in stocks, just like the picture says, in real estate, in ETFs. ETF is like eating a salad, a fruit salad or vegetable salad. It has different things put together in one. And so you can take advantage. Mutual funds, low starting, same thing as the ETFs, and you can absolutely take advantage of them. So quickly, we run through asset classes where you can involve. I say, and I put in red, avoid financial flocking. And financial flocking means you are following other people to invest in something, not necessarily because it aligns with your plan. So you must have goals and plans on how to get them. I spoke about shareholding, the bonds, commercial papers, treasury bills, real estate in various ways. There is mutual fund, fixed foreign investments. There are ETFs, foreign and local. There is Forex and crypto. Forex and crypto does not mean that it is a Ponzi. Forex and crypto are high risk. They require specialized knowledge. And most of the people who invest in them have no clue about them. So I can say that they're actually gambling. Precious metals like gold, platinum, these have always been high earners. And so it is good to always, either you want to enter into a wholesale market or into the market in Kano or in Dubai, buy gold and just continue to wear it and shine, and also holds value for you, or you want to do it on a financial platform. We move from asset classes and we go. Diversification rule. I have one diversification rule to always tie your investments to a goal. But when you do, how do you tie your investments to a goal? The way to make a financial plan is how you tie your investment to the goals that you have set. An easy education funds, either for yourself or for your children. You can have one for real estate, opportunity funds. We saw that during COVID. I mean, people had opportunities to turn their investment into liquid cash, took advantage of buying properties, buying cars, investing in businesses for less than what they would have ordinarily. And so this is an important part. Diversification rule, always tie your investment to a goal. So next slide. An important part of investing is to not, especially because we're investing for the medium and the long term, please always leave the interest on your investment to continue to accumulate. Albert Einstein says that the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. He says, he who understands it earns it, and he who does not understand it pays for it. So simply put, I invest 1,000 naira, assuming it earns me 10 naira this month. Right, by the end of the month, please do not take out your 10 naira. Allow your 10 naira to make an interest for itself and let it continue while you keep topping up. That is simply how to compound your interest. And over the understand this better. For example, Adeyinka, assuming that I'm 25 years old and I'm investing every month less than 50,000 naira, and the rate of return is 10%, right? If I'm that far, because if you divide 500,000 naira by 12 months, it is less than 50,000 naira. And assuming I want to save that from the time when I'm 25 years old to when I'm 70, everything I would have saved is 22,500,000 naira. But if I keep putting that same amount of money in an investment vehicle that is returning, even if it's a mutual fund, 10% to me per annum, at the end of that 70 years, I would have been worth 149,563,402. Simply put, you see the value of compounding the interest. And the younger you are, the more opportunities. Builds the habit of the investing. And when you are able to earn more, then you go. The game changers, like I said under the slide, is your determination, your consistency, and your ability to be able to compound your interest. Next slide. Consumer credit menace. We want to round up now. There's a lot of talking around here. I put this on purpose because just wrap it up without looking here. Debt, borrowing money. If it's for productive purpose, either for running a business, you have done your feasibility well, and it says the business can pay its capital and pay the interest back, in that case, debt is not bad. But every time that you borrow for consumption purpose, then it is a problem. You want to borrow from a fair money, from a carbon, from, I'm calling the ones that are not the, what do you call it now? The loan sharks. These ones are regulated ones, for example, and a UBA. I'm giving also commercial institutions. And what is in your mind to do with that money is to buy the next iPhone that is coming. In fact, that they have not released, right? It simply means you are fueling a consumption credit problem. It may not have blossomed fruit on, but it will not do. So some of the uses of debt, which is good, is for a business expansion. Please never borrow to start a business, especially if you are not sure about the proceeds of that business. In this inflationary trend, that's why taking advantage or putting something together from the time when you are young is extremely very important. Why? Tomorrow, you don't know what opportunities will present themselves. One of the slides that we spoke about before is putting something together and labeling it opportunity funds. It could be 5% of what you earn monthly. It could be 2%, it could be 1%, depending on what you earn. And you are putting it aside not to touch. But in case your preparedness, now you're preparing by putting it aside, meets an opportunity that requires immediate action. It has been tested, it has been proven. All you require is to take immediate action on it. Once you don't have, there are some opportunities that require liquidity, just like during COVID. Do not, if you look at the rate of return of an investment, yes, to an extent, you could be able to borrow if you have some of that money to do. Please do not borrow to do a wedding. Marry according to the resources that you're put aside. So right now, if you're just starting out your life, put a 0.5% of whatever in an account and call it marriage or whatever expense, whatever it is you pay. There's no part of your life that is small. I also had opportunity when I have consulting for people and I say, are you renting or do you own your house? When the person say rent and I say, please show me, well, where is the account where you put or invest the money for your rent? Rent is not an emergency. Having a baby is not an emergency. Wanting to get a certification is not an emergency, right? So those things, what makes them look like emergencies is the lack of planning for them. So we need to put appropriate plan. Because of our time, we need to run on this one. Financial tools for investment. Okay, so we're going to talk quickly. This is a very small slide because we're going to talk through them. Please, you can be able to hold your slides. Hold your pen.
We have to stop.
Wrap up now.
Yes.
Stop now, Dr. Itaya.
Yes, just 1 minute more. Yes.
Okay. So some of the financial, for example, my consulting or S Network Foundation, we have an investment club. I've been asked to also mention apps. So we do all of these target savings for our investment club. One, we're hoping to become an asset management company. Number two, you can use Invest Now. You can use Invest Now. You can use Niger Invest. Invest Now is by United Capital. Niger Invest is by Chapel Hill Denham. You can use Optimus. You can use Piggyvest. You can use Bamboo. Some of these platforms, we partner with them on Wise Network Foundation, and we get discounts on some of the bills you would have paid. So one thing you need to do is to open an investment account and be able to upskill. The last point I'm going to make is about practical money-making ventures. I'm just going to run through them very quickly. Remember, I said one assignment you need to do is to go and find the budget of Nigeria. As a young person, or anytime you want to start a business, first of all, focus on the areas, the industries that have need. Food, agriculture. It's an entire value chain. Pick a part and position yourself on what it is you need to do. Clothing and accessories. Either you are selling the clothes or you are sewing the clothes, developing accessories. I mean, they're beautiful accessories. Everybody has, clothing is a need in whatever grade in which you find it. Housing or real estate. You don't have to have the money to be able to build it. You can also take advantage of partnerships in real estate, transportation, and now renewable energy. I mean, there are green options for solar-powered opportunities and alternative ends. There is electric vehicle coming. That particular area has skill sets that people do not have and that it's also coming in high demand. Please look into those opportunities. Education. Education does not now need a physical structure, but you need a technology structure to be able to move this. For example, the American space is putting this in as an opportunity for education. You can also do the same. It doesn't have to be a nursery, primary, or university. There's also an entire value chain also pitch into what it is that you do. I had a client who does ELTS, IELTS.
All right.
Partnership. Technology skills, graphics design, UI, UX, software development, product management, and then oil
some
and
of these
gas.
things will come up when we the
Ask
Q&A
questions.
sessions. Yes.
Yes.
So can we put hands together for a resource person, everybody? Let's
Thank you
put
so
hands
much.
together. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
I know it's a lot, and I know this is something that many people have grappled with over time. I believe that we have gained quite a lot. I have gained a lot, and I can see Wise Network Foundation. So the Q&A, we're still going to ask some questions. So I will quickly want to move on to the next speaker. That's Dr. Samuel Edeh, to please go right ahead and lead us in the discussion on the next topic. Thank you very much.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. And such an honor to be here today, and I want to stand on the existing protocols to save time in greeting everybody, but I just want to appreciate my boss for this privilege and also my co-facilitator. Been a while, Mrs. Adeyinka, God bless you. All right, so today I'll be speaking on thriving in a modern world, the role of technology in personal growth. Thriving in a modern world, the role of technology in personal growth. So let me just share my screen, just a minute. Let me be sure we are seeing it. All right, okay. So when we look at the world we live in today, we are in the digital age. We are, the world has evolved over time from the pre-medieval age to the stone, that's known as the Stone Age. Then there's a time we came into the technology industrialization age. And now we are in what we call the information or the tech age, where everything seems to be flying at the speed of time. And there's a general saying that says that if you are not on the web or not in the internet space, you are actually not existing. And that's why you cannot see that today, once you have a smartphone and you don't have data on it, it's like a part of you is not living. So data has become like the air we breathe today. So the question is, how do we thrive in this modern world, and what role does technology play in our personal development? Emphasis is on the word personal here, because and thank God, just like we also spoke about the finance, talking about personal. So like what was his name? Stephen Covey said in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he said that personal victory precedes public victory. So the battles you have not conquered within, you can never conquer outward. So we are going to look at certain items. Here, I think I have about 5 points that we'll dwell on. So I'll try to be fast about it because I know we have limited time. And so we are going to be looking at the first one, probably just like an introduction, that technology as a growth catalyst. Now, in the world we live in today, technology has changed a lot of things. I was discussing with a friend some time ago. I said, content creation has actually sent comedians out of business. Now you see everyone is now a content creator. You can create content from what you cook. Just have your smartphone and 1 or 2 gadgets around yourself in your kitchen. And before you know, you see the person probably pulling out a GLE or Formatic or whatever from doing what? Creating a content because of taking advantage of that technology that is in his disposal. Now, before now, you probably were hearing about whatever name, Alibaba, Basket Mouth, Bovi, shutting down a hotel and suit for night of 1,000 laughter, whatever name it is. Nowadays, we don't hear that anymore. Everything is at a beck and call just on that smartphone. We also, technology has actually brought about a lot of is a growth catalyst, has brought about a lot of changes in our world. So the digital era has fundamentally transformed how we approach personal growth and development. Traditional methods that we used to have before about learning, networking, and skill acquisition have evolved dramatically with technological advancement, creating unprecedented opportunities for self-direct growth. Today's connected world offers extensive resources for individuals committed to continuous improvement, with technology serving as both a tool and a platform of transformation. Now, I just want to say this. You must have what we call, you must have a self-awareness of who you are for you to be able to enjoy the benefits of the technological age we are in. If you don't know what you want and don't know what's probably the shortfalls in your growth, in your productivity, what you want to achieve, you just discover that you are in the technological space and you are lost completely in it. So you must have what we call, be conscious of yourself, know what you want, and know how you need to assess it. And that will take me to what I will say next, and that is that technology is a double-edged sword. The digital connection world we are in today is a double-edged sword. It can give you what you want, and it can also become a tool for destruction. Now, there's something I alerted in my back end. There says that the constant stream of notifications, information overload, and digital distractions can create an illusion of busyness without genuine productivity. I will say that again. The constant stream of notifications, information overload, and digital distractions can create an illusion of busyness without genuine productivity. You know, you could hold your smartphone or your system and web, especially for some of us who probably will put on a desktop notification. You are working on something, and then the next thing you hear, pakam, like my guy will always say that, oh, there's somebody in the office that always have woto, because of the noise and the sound of the notifications or from the phone. So at every point that noise makes sounds, you take your phone, and before you know, you could be lost in it. And 8 hours, yes, you spent 8 hours at work. By the end of the day, you are beginning to measure your productivity for that day, you discover that you probably have not done anything, simply because you do not understand what you want and what you want to make out of the technology that's available to us. Now, the first thing we are going to look at is technology, leveraging digital tools for education and learning. Remember, we are talking about self-development, using technology for self-development here. The first thing we are going to look at is leveraging the digital tools for education and learning. Now, education has been transformed in so much ways over time through technology. The other day I was going past and I saw in a bus, Miva Open University. There are those days that all we know about Open University is the National Open University of Nigeria, that's now. But I'm so sure that a lot of people probably have said, I'm not going to attend now, I'm going to go to other ones because it gives me time to do so many other things while at the same time I'm studying. With the likes of Miva Open University, you can actually be in your kitchen, on your bed, by your dining table, and you are attending lectures that have been curated and set in paces in such a way that you could be doing other things, not leaving the four walls of your room or your office, and you are getting that degree. And like what I have here, technology provides unparalleled access to education through so many platforms. I mentioned the likes of Miva Open University. There's what we call the alternates. I think there's what they call the Art School by one young man in Lagos. There's the likes of Coursera, Udemy, a lot of them there that you can get skills and get educated and get those degrees from the walls of your room or your office. If you go to the likes of, I think, Khan Academy and Coursera also, a lot of them do not just offer programs, they offer programs and certification from top universities around the world that you can take some of those courses where you are, and they are recognized. You can't go to an office and apply for a job or present it to your HR and say, oh, I just got a degree in data analytics, or probably just got a degree in probably say negotiation or procurement, and they will not recognize it because the university will have it stamped and endorsed, issued directly from them. And these are some of the transformations that the digital space has actually made available to us in our world today. So technology has evolved and has evolved the accessibility and methodology of education, creating unprecedented opportunities for self-directed learning. The 21st century provides a wealth of opinion for passion-driven, personalized education that transcend traditional classroom limitations. I'm sure if you go to and take a survey from probably I know a lot of Nigerians still rush to US, Canada, Europe, and all that. But I'm telling you, so many of them that goes there for the 4 walls that's the traditional classroom educations are probably going there because they want to have opportunities to other options to, like probably like we might say a japa, or probably ability to get a job, better job there. But I'm telling you that busy professionals in Nigeria, you see someone today that will tell you that, oh, I just got my MBA from Stanford University. A lot of them did not leave the shore of their office or Nigeria to get that certification, and it's as valid as whatever anyone could have gotten there. Some of them is not because they don't want to, but the luxury of time to go and sit down in one classroom is not there for them. So it has revolutionized the way jobs are done and educations certifications are actually gotten. Now, other things that the technology has done for us today is it has brought about enhancing our networking capabilities. Remember those days that probably you sit in your room and you are thinking, oh, how do I go and visit that my friend or that my colleague or that my relative? And you are thinking about to get, it's not the money per se, but you think about how to navigate the busy roads of Lagos, or probably the scorched sun in Abuja or in the north, or you look at the fear of, oh, when you should go out or when you should not go out, depending on the area you are in Nigeria. But technology has changed a lot of that. It has brought a lot of new dynamics into it. The other day, some years back, I enrolled with there's this I wouldn't know if I will call him a motivational speaker or is a business person, Grant Cardone. And I was listening to him. He was having what we call the 10X conference, and it was in the midst of the COVID pandemic. And I'm telling you that in that conference, there were close to over 1 million people in attendance, and everyone attended virtually. And that is the kind of things that the likes of Zoom, Google Meet, and all that are brought up. So there you could see that the narratives have changed. The competition, even amongst a lot of these service providers, is becoming so heated up. Before now, what you see in Zoom is just for you to have your virtual meetings and all that. But it has moved from that traditional form of virtual meeting to something more enhanced, where you can actually break out into syndicates rooms, break out into rooms, and the meeting is still as valid as any other thing. It's as if you are there physically. You could actually be, now the other day we were having a virtual training in the office, and the presenter in US was teaching us with the whiteboard, and I could see how far Microsoft has gone with the advancement in the whiteboard application, and I was like, wow, it's as real as if you are just in a physical classroom. So these are some of the things that technology has brought our way. So there's something else that I have here, we call the personal learning networks. Personal
You're frozen. Can you hear us?
Yeah, it has. I'm reconnected.
Please just give him 1 minute to reconnect. I want to encourage us to please begin to put your questions down while the speaker is trying to log in. Do we have any question for Adeyinka while we're trying to wait? Any question on finance, financial independence? All right. So it's sitting by my side here. It's going to connect in the next 1 or so, 1 minute. Let's be patient. All right, I can see Enugu. Please go ahead with your question or mute yourself while we're waiting.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Just go straight to your question.
I want to appreciate.
Please go straight to the question.
I want to appreciate Mrs. Adeyinka. Okay,
you don't have time for
my question,
appreciation.
sir, is yes, sir. My question is, I actually missed out on the way she classified and defined needs and wants because our network over here was misbehaving. So if she could give us, if she could reiterate, what needs and wants are, give us the exact definition that she used in the presentation, I would appreciate that, sir. That's my question.
Okay, quickly, Lekki. Please, as speaker, you can note these questions. Lekki. And then Uyo. Have you been able to log in?
Yeah, thanks to the team. I don't know when.
Please just go ahead quickly, please.
Yes, my question is, she was talking about investing for the future, probably investing in properties or other things. But I want to see for our advice. When you invest in human capacity, is that a good investment for the future? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Another question, sir.
Yes, be quick, please. Yes.
All right, thank you. The next question is, as we all know that in this Nigeria of today, what we call employment is mostly underemployment. So with underemployment, how do we go by trying to have something to save when even the money we are earning is not even enough to cater for our immediate needs? Thank you.
Right, Uyo?
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
My question was that one of the points raised by the first speaker, when she said that the budget of the nation will influence our financial decisions. And it becomes a conflict for Nigeria because we see that what happens, or what we have on statistics, I mean the budget proposal and the acceptance of it, does not tally with what happens in our economy, despite indications of
so what is the question?
So now, how do we as Nigerians who are in this unstable budget planning and economy navigate with making such decisions?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Next person. Go straight to the point.
Please move forward a little.
Could
you list 5 most advisable companies?
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Could you list at least 5 most advisable blue chip companies to invest in? Is that your question?
The next question.
Next,
all right.
please. Very fast.
The current economic situation in Nigeria, as a financial expert, which of the sector in Nigeria would be advised presently?
Okay.
She said that we
Sorry,
should not
I didn't hear the last question from the gentleman that just went back.
So where can he invest?
Which sectors?
Okay.
Next.
Finally,
the person plan to start up a business. If the person is not supposed to borrow to start up, how do you advise the person to then start it up?
Okay.
okay, we don't want them to borrow. Finally, we
Yes.
go to Jos.
I also didn't hear the man in orange.
That if you don't want them to borrow money to do business, so where do they get the money from?
Excellent. Okay.
Finally, Jos.
You mentioned during the lecture that it is important to not invest in opportunities that are not in your plan. And you also mentioned that we should learn how to leverage our opportunities so as to enable us to make income. So when do you know if an opportunity is worth your investment or not?
All right. So while we're waiting, I think you can go ahead and answer those questions. Mrs. Ashaolu.
Thank you very much, sir. I was trying to. Opportunity is worth your investment. Okay. I was trying to take a note so that I don't forget. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. And this is point out that you were listening. Thank you. The difference between it is just like the names speak. Those things that you absolutely cannot be alive without. Food, clothing, shelter. This day and age, which is why my co-facilitators topic, which also is part of the opportunities to earn money, is quite interesting, is that we had an interesting conversation recently, and technology is gradually becoming a need because of globalization and opportunity to be able to and the need to be able to access opportunities through it. The ones are the things that are good to have. They look good on you. You understand? There's a difference between you needing a pair of shoes to work, to walk, and needing a Gucci pair of shoes when you cannot afford it. Those are two things. For someone who
now the speaker is back.
A pair of shoes to go to work, that's a want. Number two. Awesome. Thank you.
Mrs. Ashaolu. Let's just
Yes,
pause
sir.
for the speaker to continue. She is ready now.
All right. So just as I was saying, first I want to apologize. It's not my making.
All right.
We are talking about technology, and technology actually showed the negative parts of what it can do, and unfortunately, it's not
downside.
The downside of technology. But sincerely, I would say where part of the world also contributes to this, because data, internet connectivity in this part of the world is as unreliable as you can ever imagine. So as I was saying, I said that for us to actually enjoy the leverage on digital tools for education and learning, that there is a need for us to understand what is called personal learning networks. And that is where you have to develop your own personal network of learning. Like I said when I started, you don't just get into the technology space or the digital space aimlessly without having an idea, a focus, an objective, or being intentional what you want to take out of it. If not, it's just like someone who gets into a water without ascertaining the depth of that water and his or ability to swim and navigate such water. So it will end up swallowing you. So
in the digital platform have transformed networking, allowing individuals to connect with experts and peers worldwide. So when you go through what we call the personal learning networks, part of the things it does is also it enhances your networking capability, where you don't just get into the digital space and begin to wander aimlessly, but you are focused on what you want. So if you're talking about you want to develop your communication skill, you want to develop your negotiation skill, you want to develop your analytical skill, you can look for spaces or communities within the digital space where you can get such done. All right, so now that takes us to the, still talking about the personal development. So the tools that could help us in our personal development, you said there's a variety of apps and tools that exist to facilitate personal growth, from language learning with apps like Duolingo to project management using apps like Notion. Each tool caters to specific goal, making self-improvement more structured and efficient. So like I said, let's not forget this. We are talking about personalized development. So you don't just go to your friend and say, oh, let's collaborate in developing together. Even if you want to work together as a team, the goal and the end result is that you are developing yourself personally. So also talking about all this, so when you go on there, you look for a lot of all these tools that will help you in the digital space, that will help you become a better person from who you need to be. And also when we talk about this, there is a need for you to maintain focus. You know, I said earlier that there is a need for you to be intentional about what you want. And being intentional also means that you must be focused. There will be so many distractions. You know, just like when you are using the YouTube to watch a training or to watch a movie or whatever, and suddenly the advert pops up. Will you, someone who is not focused, probably might get carried away by the advert and click on that advert, and before you know, you have spent 2 hours from one advert, from one reel, from one video, sponsored video, and before you now remember, probably it might be the next day or the next week, you remember that, oh, I was actually working on listening to this documentary, I was listening to this audio book or whatever. But when you are focused, even when such comes, and you know that, yes, you cannot stop those from playing because you are using a free version, all you simply do is that you wait, allow it to play its time and pass away, and you go back to what you are doing. So you must maintain focus when you are in the digital space. Say you using, and then in also doing that, there's some apps that also make that possible for you. Like in my phone, there is an app on it or a functionality on it that will help me to say, okay, to be focused, that when I'm working, I can actually put some notifications to appear when I am focused on something, so it will not sound. So at the end of the day, I can go to such applications and begin to check the notifications and messages and public calls that I've missed during those periods. If you don't know how to use such tools, you end up discovering that you are just wandering around, like you are aimlessly wandering around in a big wilderness, going nowhere. So you must learn to use some applications. Some of them are free of charge, don't even need to pay, that will make using the technology space much more productive for you. So as we also say that, talking about under personal learning networks also, there are so many massive open online courses that you can also leverage on that will help you to become who you want to be. And a lot of them are free. And let me also say this, you know, talking about the distraction we had earlier because of the downtime and network fluctuation. That is why the US government has invested so much. As we speak today, we have about 28 American spaces spread across the nation. And I'm sure, like all of us that are listening to me, nobody here will say that anybody asked you to pay $1 to enter into the American spaces. And each of these American spaces have computers or laptops with internet connectivity, and they are all free of charge. So if you are complaining, oh, I don't have money to buy data to develop myself personally, I don't have where I stay, there are so many noise, distraction, either my son or my wife or my children or the neighborhood, there's a lot of noise and distraction, I cannot be focused. No matter the distance of your house to the American space, all it will cost you is just that transport fare. Just go there, stay there from as long as you want, from the time they open to when they close, and use the function, the technology that's available there to become better for yourself. Now, there's a story that was shared with us, a real life story, when we were still using the one we have in Yaba, the CC Hub. You know, Makoko is not too far, not too close, but quite a distance. And as a young boy that finished his secondary school and learned that there's an American corner in CC Hub in Yaba. So the young boy will wake up every day when he was out of secondary school and we go there to study and prepare for a standardized exams and all that. And when the OFP opportunity came up, that's the Opportunity Fund Program that the US provides for those who are indigent, intelligent, smart, high students who could not, probably from middle or low income homes. And he took advantage of it. The young boy I tell you today is in US. He has finished his first degree, his master's, and he has gotten a job in US, all because he was able to access this. So we have no excuse not to develop ourselves personally. All right, so let's go to the next one here. Now, just a minute. Now, I've talked about leveraging on the digital learning platform. I've talked about the Coursera. I've talked about the Udemy, and there are so many of them that are there. And listen to this, they are all free. All that we are talking about today are US platforms that are free of charge. It's only when you need the certificates that they might ask you to pay some few dollars in Naira equivalent for you to get those certifications to show that, yes, you have learned and you have been trained. Now, other things you can utilize in the digital space is the YouTube and podcast for knowledge. You know, a lot of us before now, we believe that YouTube is just where we go to and listen to movies and watch movies and listen to music. But it has gone beyond that. There is virtually nothing that you want to learn in the world today that YouTube, it shouldn't be your first call of point. Now, almost every company, whatever they produce, whatever they have, and they want people to learn about it, they always put a portion of that knowledge on YouTube. So whatever you need, all you just need to just go to that YouTube search box and type whatever you want. Any knowledge at all, you must definitely get something about it. And now, one of my favorites on YouTube is either to watch documentaries or to go to TEDx. On TEDx, almost every knowledge you want to learn anything about, you can get from on YouTube. So please, it's available. And it is free. Like I said earlier, the only problem you have is that when you are using the free version, once in a while, because that's where they make their money from, their adverts, sponsored adverts will pop up. But you can also do away with that by just paying money to have the premium account. And now I think it used to be 1,700. The one I have is the family version, which is the 1,700. I can give access to about 6 people that I can connect 6 accounts to it. 1,700, I think from tomorrow 7th, they're increasing it to 2,800. To a lot of us, we can still afford that. Those are cheaper than probably a bottle of Guinness or a bottle of Heineken. So you can sacrifice those things for knowledge, because those are the things that will determine where you get to tomorrow. So aside YouTube, podcasts are also there. Podcast is one viable tool. There is virtually no learning platform that you don't have podcasts. And let me also mention this, for adventure, you have not been attending some of our share programs on the American spaces. There is, I think, in the masterclass for eLibrary USA, we have talked sometime in the past about Notebook LM, which is one viable platform that not just for you to listen to podcasts, but you can also create podcasts on it yourself. You can take any book you are struggling with reading, or probably you don't have the convenience of time, you can upload it to it and convert it to a podcast, and you begin to listen to it. That's one easy way to learn. Put down your earpiece in your phone and download it on your phone and listen to it while you are in that trip, on that journey, instead of watching all the reels and Facebook reels and all the what do you call them? The content creations that just make you laugh, and when you finish laughing, you go back to where you have always been. Add values that will make your life a better for tomorrow. All right, so now the flexibility of the learning opportunities. Digital platform enables learning at any time and at any place. Anytime and at any place. If you need to sign up for classroom learning, I know for those of you, a lot of you are students here. Your lecturers will tell you that if you don't attend 70% of the class, it's not guaranteeing that you pass that course. Probably that attendance carries 30%, 30 marks. So, but when you go to online platforms to learn through the digital space, you can learn at any time. A lot of knowledge, a lot of education, a lot of learning platforms are already pre-recorded. Like what we are doing today is on YouTube. You can go back in the next 20 years and you still meet it there. And you see references, you can still listen to it and still get those knowledge. So even if you are confused that you are bothered that, oh, we don't have enough time to answer all your questions, you can still go back and listen to it again and again, and you see that that question you actually wanted to ask has been answered while the training is going on. All right. So let's now quickly move to the next, which is what I call the networking in the digital age. Networking in the digital age. Building your learning network. Constructing a diverse learning network enable access to a wealth of knowledge and perspective. Engaging with peers through platforms like Twitter, that is X, and WhatsApp groups foster collaboration and growth, enhancing overall learning experience. So, you know, I can't even tell how many WhatsApp groups I belong into. But, you know, things are changing. You know, some time ago, someone actually curated the network WhatsApp group engagement rules. You don't come to WhatsApp. Now, there are some WhatsApp groups that are just there for social conversation. You can throw anything into it. I will plead with you, don't waste your time on such. What I do with my WhatsApp, at times I don't even open. So when I open it and I see probably like about 200 unread messages, I just click, just to make sure they don't just keep distracting me that they're read. I don't read so many of them, but there are some of them that are for specific business, that any information on those kind of groups, I don't joke with it. So what technology has made available for us is that you can create such groups. You can create groups for peers. Okay, you could belong to so many associations, probably say, career advancement, moving from sales to tech. You can create a group and get likes mind where you can get such information. You can create WhatsApp group for families. You can create WhatsApp group for anything, but make sure they are such that will enhance collaboration and foster growth for you. So those, then if you go to X, for example, X is no longer a gossip site. X is no longer a gossip like it used to be. Now you see a lot of what they call the Twitter space, where people will just form into cluster of groups and they are discussing specific issues. Like you can tell, when the Kenya revolution, or I don't know if I call it revolution, started, Twitter was one of the platforms that made it possible for them to network and socialize and were able to strategize in depth. Before government would know what was going on, they've gained traction and gained a lot of footings. So you can build such platforms to enhance your collaborations and make you better off for it. Now, also, one of the things it also helps us to do, it helps us to engage with experts. Connecting with experts is vital for personal development. No, I'm sure you are all aware, I don't know if in the north or in the east, but in this part of the country, in Lagos, over some few weeks ago, the argument about mentoring at the cost of $18,000 at discounted rate. Yeah, that's to tell you the value of mentoring nowadays. And everybody has the right to place whatever premium they want to place on their mentoring, that, oh, I've made value for myself, and if you want me to mentor you, this is what I'm going to charge. There are so many who will not charge you, but they will be sure that you are a serious person before they can devote their time to commit to that. So there are so many, like myself, there are so many people who mentor a lot of people without them even knowing it. Brian Tracy is one person I follow a lot. Almost every write-up or every post he makes, I always go through it almost all the time. Now, will I say Brian Tracy is influencing me or not? He is, but he doesn't even know. He has not met me one-on-one. Probably, if at all, I'm sure probably it's people on his team that will know there's an email that is called hughes@gmail.com. But the truth of the matter is that you can use the technological platforms to to engage with experts in any field you want to engage in. You could want to gain knowledge in the media space, knowledge in financial world, just like sister just spoke about. You could look at who is the best Check, oh, who is the best on Wall Street in terms of financial knowledge. Yesterday also, we're told that by the end of the year that Warren Buffett is going to retire from his active role in Berkshire also. And a lot of people could look at that and they know that there's a platform probably on places like LinkedIn that the man shares nuggets about financial investment and all that. You can go there and connect with them. You don't need to bother yourself about getting to know who they are. What you are interested in is not their face, not how they speak, but what they carry inside of them that will contribute to making you a better person. All right. So now, also, before I move to the next, I want to also talk about this, that there are tools and platforms for skill development. Now, we're talking about personal development. So there are tools and platforms that can help you to develop better. Now, one is the digital skill acquisition ecosystem. The modern landscape offers diverse ecosystem for developing practical and theoretical skills across virtually every domain. Now, let me just digress a little. You know, today, yes, 2 days ago, a friend shared an Instagram post, and the lady was talking about DevOps. DevOps, that's cloud computing and all that. And she was saying that, that's if you are in the DevOps, that's the cloud computing space, you could be earning as much as $150,000 in a year, and that is in very high demand. And now that is some of the opportunities that technology has created. Just the way we have people who are network engineers on the physical computers, who are system engineers, who are security engineers, who are software engineers. In the cloud space, we also have a lot of that. And some of them do not even need to work in any building. They can be in the comfort of their room, working remotely and making a whole lot of money. And now the good thing about it is, nobody is going to ask you, how many A's do you have in your WAEC? Probably if you pass, you have A in English, A in Maths, or B in Yoruba or anything. As long as you are committed and you can get those skills, and you can prove to them that, yes, you got those skills and you have the certification to prove to you that you got it from a reputable testing institution, beloved, you go ahead and make your money. So the world is changing today from people going to school to spend 4 years studying the philosophy, the logics, and everything that they are confused. How does it relate to me being an accountant or being a psychologist? Now people are developing personalized skills that industries are looking for. And that is one good thing that the technology has made available. You can decide today that, say, I want to be an expert in data analytics. You can decide I want to be an expert in cloud computing, in cloud security, you can in database, and that is all you major on. There are places you can get all this online, get professionalized on it, and get money paid in foreign currencies, even while you are here in the country. That anytime you choose to travel abroad is because you are going on vacation. So please, there are so many of these opportunities. So there are tools in the ecosystem that could make this work. And so I talked earlier about applications like Masterclass, like Khan Academy. They are structured to make sure to help you develop such skills. Then we also talk about the language and communication skills. They are talking about these likes of Duolingo. They are there to help you get such. Then we also talk about technical and creative skills, where you talk about you can learn specifics about domain, coding, programming, tech skills, whichever one you want, you can learn on all those platforms. Then we also talk about the self-improvement and mindfulness. Self-improvement and mindfulness. And this is this, listen to this, beyond practical skills. Digital platform increasingly supports holistic self-improvement and personal wellness. See, it is when you are well and healthy that whatever it is you have can work. Today we are talking about mental health. A lot of people are having mental issues that even all the money they have in the world cannot solve it. So there are platforms where you can also develop yourself and develop your mind to make sure that they are healthy. You know, the Bible, the good book says that God says he wished above all things that we are in health and prosper, even as our soul prosper. So your health and your mind must work, must be in health for you to achieve whatever you want to achieve. Then let me quickly also digress a little to this. The third one, there are distractions you must avoid in the digital space. There are distractions you must avoid. I said it earlier and I'm repeating again. If you don't have a focus and you are not intentional and you get into the digital space, you can get yourself drowned. I tell my kids at home that anytime they sit down and they're listening to all the YouTube of the content creators and all that, before you know it, they have spent 3, 4, 5 hours and it's gone. And I told them, I said, see, these guys have made a career for themselves. All they do is that every day they must put themselves under pressure to create a new content, because nobody wants to go back and watch the previous content they have created. So they are under serious pressure to make sure that those contents are created. And they make their money as long as you and I are sitting down to watch those contents. And every time we sit down to watch those contents and get distracted, we lose focus on what would have made we ourselves to be better.
Thank you very much.
All right. So there is a need for you to be focused and not be distracted when you get into the tech space. So you must be strategic and you must structure your learning. Now, when I talk about structuring your learning, please take it one step at a time. Don't put, like they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Build one, and from one, go to the next. And what I will say about that is this: don't go and be talking about data analytics, and you are talking about content creation, and you are talking about learning how to make food. Have a plan that if I'm going to learn this, I'm going to go from that into the next. Let it be directed, let it be focused. That is aside. So one other place that I talk about for those of us who are professionals, if there is anywhere you must be as a professional or a professional to be, it's on the LinkedIn space. Now, LinkedIn has gone beyond where you just go and submit your CV and put, that emoji or that flag you put, open to work. I'm looking for available to work. It's gone beyond that. LinkedIn has gone further than they have LinkedIn Learning, where you can learn anything you want to learn, where you can collaborate, you can network with any. It is so advanced now that you can make a lot out of it. Now, if you don't know, there is no way you know those things are there. And that will bring me to say all that you know is not all there is to know. You must understand what you want and search it out. Then that takes us to attend a virtual event. There are so many events that for you to attend, you will pay a lot. And a lot of them also are on the virtual space. Almost all events now that they have in-person attendance, they also have virtual version of it. That if you want to attend virtually, all you need to do is just to sign up, either as a free event or a paid event. Search out to develop yourself. Like I said, don't just attend any. Look for the one that benefits you and be part of it.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very, very much. You can see there's a lot of information that is out here that we really want to share, but because of time. So if you have questions, please, can we quickly just raise your hands? We'll take questions for Samuel, and then we'll now go back to Adeyinka to please answer all the questions she has received. We have a very short time. Yes, can you lower your slide? So please don't go into stories, don't thank the speaker, just straight to point. And we're taking questions only for the last speaker so that you can also have them written down while prepare for answers while the first speaker is speaking. So let's have Calabar first, and then we'll go to Lekki. Calabar, over to you.
Good everyone. My question goes to Mr. Samuel Edeh. So concerning the platforms, educational platforms available
accessible to several people, and they were now there's the aspect of getting the knowledge, and also there's the part of getting certifications. For a young person, probably a corner user who have access to the internet and is using probably watching videos from YouTube, having several courses, but there's a specific course, there's a specific plan he has in life, and
what is the question?
That area. Yes, sir. How do you get to pass courses where get certifications for courses or careers which are difficult, which you need to pay for? You don't have the cash for it.
All right, you want free, you want something that is free.
Yes, sir, and accessible.
All right.
For those who can afford courses.
Thank you. Lekki, over to you.
Well, I concur with the assertion of technology as a growth catalyst, but on the other hand, it is conflicting. A case study of traditional media and social media. Traditional media gives first-hand information. It gives accurate information. Unlike social media in the likes of WhatsApp, Twitter, Andrew, and some others. So, to the best of my knowledge, I want the facilitator to explicite on that, because social media give filter.
Okay. That's okay. All right. Any other person? All right.
Any other person?
Adeyinka, please go ahead. Can we have the speaker, please?
Sorry, I was speaking and I didn't know I was unmuted.
All right.
Sorry about that. So please, while I'm taking the ones I hear, there was someone who spoke about human. The second one or the third.
So please help us make it the answers very, very short, because we have to close.
Okay, so someone said invest. Learning to invest is like registering for a gym and wanting to attain 6 packs. It doesn't happen overnight. But learning to invest with little helps you to see opportunities that you can take advantage of in order to earn active income and be able to invest for passive income. Now, nobody, not whoever it is that you're aspiring to become, nobody learns or got to wherever it is that they are financially or professionally overnight. So there is always a process about this thing. So when you learn that habit to do a bit, and now people who supposedly, quote and unquote, earn a lot of money are also not relying on one single source. So if you are currently underemployed, and that simply means that you're not being paid enough for the value that you bring on, you absolutely need to find additional sources, not the ones that stress you out thin and does not allow you to be able to give your best. But yes, there is a need to have more than one source of income. And you can look at the skills that you have or look at skills that you can acquire to be able to get them. Yes, so that's my question for that. And budget of the nation. I didn't quite get that, but I think the person said that, well, because of the uncertainty of the country, how do you find opportunities or something like that in the budget? See, the budget there is uncertainty, global uncertainty. It's not today. There's always some level of global uncertainty. These days, the levels of uncertainties are a bit higher than maybe in the last 4 or 5 years, or maybe 3 years. However, in the midst of uncertainties, there are more opportunities. Yes? So that's why I'm saying, what are you looking at? Are you focusing on the problems without looking at the solutions? Because every time there are increased uncertainties, there are opportunities. They may not be in places where you're familiar with. This is where you must be able to bring yourself to be able to evolve, to be able to change positively, to be able to harness those opportunities. So when I spoke about the budget, I'm saying, look at the sectors where the front of the country where you are is pointing or putting attention to. If they say telecommunications or transportation or agriculture contributed 26.4% in the budget, it simply means that there are opportunities in that sector, and you should be looking at from the A to Z of the operations of that sector and see what you can key into as opportunity. If they say banks are giving trillions of naira, of dollars as SME loans, it tells you that there is something in those sectors or in those small businesses that is earning or interesting to those institutions. And so you have to figure out, nobody will drop opportunities. You have to be the one to scrutinize, to find opportunities and find partnerships that will be able to get it. It's not everything you're going to get for free. If everybody was going to get everything for free, then maybe would not have developed capacity enough. I mean, I sit here today and I'm encouraging you. And in 2 months, I'm going to be coming out to say some of the things that absolutely taking a big risk on. And I'm saying, because I did see the opportunity, I have to be able to prove to the people that I want to partner with that there is value in this thing that we're offering as an organization, as a person. Yeah, so that one. Blue chip companies for investment, I'm not sure. There are local and there are international. I'm not going to champion the cause of any organization. I mean, you can, if anybody wants a financial consultation, that's different. So on social media, I'm Adeyinka_AADE. That's my name. And you can also reach out to any of the American corners to find a link. So that's so the blue chip companies, I mean, there are investments in organizations, blue chip companies in the US. There are investments across, I mean, the banking sector recently, what do you call it? Released, what do you call it now? The 2024 Q4 investments, and you need to see how much the Odogu Pararas and the Achalugos were taking home in investments. I was happy, particularly for one company, when they sent me email, oh, your dividend is whatever. When I heard what some other ladies were earning from the earning, of course they had put a lot of investment of time and years into it, but I just sat up and I had to retweak my goals and my plans to be able to do all of those. So there are lots of them. If I mention names and I don't remember to mention some others, then it might be. But if you do reach out, then we'll be able to guide you accordingly. Sectors of investment, we've mentioned them. Let's start. If you're starting out a business, start with the ones that will be, your services and your products will be high in demand. So start with the sectors that focus on people's needs, the things that people can absolutely, I mean, food, we spoke about, the first thing on my thing was food and agriculture. We want to see how many % of government budget and contribution agriculture and food had in the budget or has in performance of last year's budget and what it has now. You don't even need to bother. Just look at the figures, something %, and it gives you an idea. So for example, in wherever part of the country that you live in, have you noticed that anybody who does food business, no matter how bad, tasteless, worthless, either dried, processed, cooked food, always sell? That tells you that from the beginning, when you see a cashew tree, you need to reorient yourself, that when you look at something, look at it with a little more focus, with a little more attention, and become that person who sees the opportunities and who does not see. And when you see problems, let the first thing that comes to your mind be the fact that you're providing a solution that will earn you money. Value, wealth gravitates towards providing solutions. When you're providing solutions, then people will. When you find a Dangote, he has money, but his money is not enough because his focus is also on other things. So if you want to get money out of him, you better provide a value that is useful for him and that he can be able to pay you for. Same applies to everybody that you're looking up to. So look at what they need and be able to provide that value. And when you provide that value with a touch of excellence, then they would be able to give a bit of some premium on what it is that you're offering. Don't borrow. Sources of income. Yes, don't borrow. I didn't say don't borrow. I said, do not borrow to start a business. Inflation is not stationary. It doesn't always, it never is. However, the rate of inflationary trends is very alarming. And so if you're borrowing at a rate, the organization can come because of money policy and announce a change in the interest rate, depending on what you have signed with the organization, and you are obliged to be able to do it. Now, imagine if you did a business budget for 2025 and your inflation budget is saying, okay, so maybe interest comes to 30% at the end of the day of everything that you've taken. And now your proceeds or expectations from the business is supposed to be about 60% of what it is that you're putting as capital or as investment into the business. And then inflation throws, or there's a change in policy, and you have just started a business. You have not even stabilized. You have not broken even, meaning that break even is the business have not been able to cover its costs, not to talk of even giving you an extra to make profit. How then do you want to survive? Sources of possible investment or funds that the person asks, family and friends. Do what you do so well that people who know you every day will be able to commit something to be able to support your cause. Number 2, grants. Yes, there are grants. USAID irrespective. Right now, I have almost like 40-something grants I'm looking at with members of my team. We must get grants, and there are still grants in various other places. So please look at grants and look at the opportunity. In some of our financial accountability groups, we share some of those opportunities and different other tips. So yes, if you do reach out, then we can connect. Equity investors. You have done a business, you've started it to an extent, and people see the value in what you're offering, and they see the opportunities for growth in it. And they say, okay, I'd like to take 5% of your business for this. You might be the one who's going to pitch it. You must make people who you want to invest in your business see the value to them and what problems your business or your service is going to solve. That gives them the confidence that this business is going to return. Also, when you're looking at that, don't just tell them what is good. Tell them what the things that are posing a risk to what you're doing and how you are planning to mitigate against those risks or ensuring that the risks do not come. Yes? How do you know when an opportunity is worthy of your investment? When it aligns with your goals. I mentioned before, I said, tie your investment to a goal. Meaning, first of all, have a goal that you want to achieve. It may not be 100% specific, or say, okay, I'd like to own a house. That's real estate or something in X number of years. And you need to find out the value of the house currently and add a bit of it on. And then when you find opportunities that help you to invest long-term and return a good money, then you'll be able to identify that as an opportunity. When I said put something aside that you don't know what you want to use it for and name it opportunity fund, it means it's a blanket opportunity. Whatever it is can crop up. You know, we say this thing flippantly many times. Opportunity meets preparedness. Now that is you preparing based on what you currently have, and you can set aside for a bigger opportunity to come to you. So long story short, have goals for yourself. Set a plan. No plan goes 100% as it is, but at least the first point of making a success of whatever, either your life, your profession, or your investment, is to first of all have a basic plan. Then you can adjust as you go. But if you don't have a plan, then you are going nowhere. Imagine a sailor getting on the ship. He doesn't have any map on HHO, and then he doesn't know where he's going to. Seeing opportunities.
I think for now, I think we have 6 minutes more. So okay. Let's give Samuel also the opportunity to answer those questions. Yes.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So there are 2 questions here. They talked about how to get affordable courses and how to pay for it. So let me just start by telling you this. The Bible says that see a man who is diligent in what he does, he will not sit among mere men, but among great men. See, what I will tell you is this. Don't look for where you get free courses or where someone will give you money to pay for courses. You must first of all add value to yourself and show that you are worth it. And how do you do that? Look for free versions of those courses. Start with that. Do those free courses, master them. And then from that, you can now begin to scale up. So, okay, get little payment from those ones. And from there, you can now have money to now pay for the bigger ones. See, what a lot of us are looking for is where you want to do an SQL course, probably a course on database management. Probably that is what, about $3,000 or $7,000. And you are looking for who will come and put that money in your hand to go and do it. No. Why not start something that is probably not going to cost you anything? Master those ones, begin to scale. See, a lot of us will not value what we don't even pay for. So start with those small ones and then begin to go up from there. Then the person that talked about they're talking about the social media and then the traditional media. See, the truth is this. I told you that the internet space or the technology space is like an ocean. If you don't know what you want, you'll be drowned in it. You don't just go ahead and begin to listen to every news, or even on the social media space, on the internet space. There are media spaces that you can vouch for whatever information you get from there. And we're not even talking about news here now. We're talking about getting value, personal development for yourself. First, you must be intentional. Know what you want. And then and part of knowing what you want is that you must be self-aware of yourself. What is it that I don't know? What is it that I don't have? What do I want to add to myself? Okay, now I can't, if I meet, let's say, for example, if in an elevator and you probably meet Dangote and you are going from floor 1 to floor 4, and you have opportunity within that less than 1 minute to talk to Dangote, and you don't even have that good communication skill, you don't even have understanding of what is attainable, either in what Dangote does or what is around him. Begin to be intentional about to develop yourself that, see, if opportunity comes today, I will be able to present myself or sell myself to someone that will see that, yes, I have something that they will want. So don't just go to the media space and begin to say, oh, there's a news there that is fake or this one is. That's not what you are there for. It's talking about personal development. Look for how to make yourself better. If you're a musician, for example, look for spaces in the technological space where you can become a better musician. You don't bother yourself and begin to look for news. I begin to look for what doesn't or what happens to Lagbaja, what does that. Focus on what you want and be good at it. When you become something for yourself, then the world will listen to you. But what we do at times is that we just get in there and we are so distracted. And I talked about it. Avoid the pitfall of distraction. There are so many distractions. As good as it is a double-edged sword that can also swallow you. Know what you want and make something out of it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very, very much. We have just 2 minutes to wrap up. I really, really want to appreciate everyone. The facilitator, that's Adeyinka, has put some stocks right there in the chat box. We will encourage you to please look at that. She can also share Instagram handle so that you can follow her and gain quite a lot. The most sincere thing is that you can't get all at once. For me, if I could just mention one major thing that you, as a young man, young woman, should never forget is the power of compounding interest. The power of compounding interest. No matter how small you are putting into your investment, and she gave you that example, if you could do that and leave it till 30 years, 50 years, 40 years, even 20 years, you'll be surprised how rich you will become. And the ultimate goal for everyone should be financial independence, especially you men. Please mute your... Especially you men, if you don't have money in your pocket, I can assure you, in this day and time, you feel like a fish without water. I am encouraging you take this seriously. And then the issue of technology, you could see the passion by which Samuel spoke to you. I mean, you don't have any reason not to know anything at this age that we're in. There's nothing you want to learn that is new. Everything you need to learn is online. If you can only cut down your time, all those times that, you kept emphasizing distraction. Most of this generation are distracted, either with Man U or with kids or with Woto. And all these things, they are distracting you. In our own time, there was no WhatsApp. If you want to communicate with somebody, you write letter and you go out to post office and you send the letter, wait for the next 1 week before you get reply. Now you can communicate easily, but what are you communicating? Woto. All right. So I think we have done what we needed to do. I want to thank everyone. And I also would like to announce to you this Wednesday, which is tomorrow, we will be having our usual eLibrary USA awareness program for members. So if you know anyone who is interested in having access, please invite them. It's 12:30. We also have our own monthly special masterclass on eLibrary USA and new research tools. We'll be looking critically at each of those databases. But in addition to that, we're going to introduce you to Notebook Helm. And I'm telling you this, that is going to be a game changer for you if you have not discovered it. So we encourage you to please join us as we have this session. So with that, we come to the end of today's session. I want to thank you very much, Adeyinka Akinyede-Ashaolu. Did I call it very well? Did I pronounce it very well?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Thank you.
So we want to thank you. We know if we give you like 1 week, 4 hours every day, you will not be able to cover everything. But at least they have access to this on our YouTube channel. You can go back on our YouTube channel and watch this. And there's a link also on our WhatsApp channel. As we are talking, we've posted it there. There's also a link on our Facebook page. You can also go there and watch the recording of this session. Thank you, everyone. We also thank the director of the American Center Lagos, Dr. Samuel Edeh. Thank you for coming. And all the directors that made this happen by making sure that your people are well seated. I can see Zaria. Zaria is looking very serious today. Nakwana, thank you for coming. Thank you very much. You are so many. We also thank Uyo, Mina, Enugu, Ikeja, Ibadan, Yola, Calabar, Sokoto, Jigawa. Do I forget Benin City, Meduguri, Abochi? Thank you very much. Those who do not put their camera on, I will not recognize them because I've told them. Oh, Joss, I've told them to also make sure they put on their camera. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day. And bye-bye. Makodi. Okay, Calabar is just coming up. Okay, thank you very much. Bye, everyone. See you on Wednesday, 12:30. Oh, also at 10 a.m. too, for Education USA. Okay, I can see Oshogbo now. I can see Oka. Everybody's now switching on their camera. Thank you for coming.